Okay, this is Chapter 1, Section 3 of Stats. This is the Part 2 video. So in Part 2, we're going to make the ungrouped frequency distribution for this data set. In the next video, we're going to make a grouped frequency distribution for this set of data, basically. I'm going to remind you that all the previous pages are all the formulas and methodologies of how to make all these different things, basically. Okay, so if you go to Canvas, which you'll notice under the lecture notes, click on the lecture documents, and then below each lecture is always the data. So if you want to download the data, okay, so that it's in your folder basically, so you should have a folder somewhere in your computer. Let me get it on the right screen here. It's on the wrong screen right now for me. My mouse is fighting me. There we go. All right, there's the document there, right? Okay, then you want to open up your OneDrive. So if you go to office.com, right, go to office.com and then select your OneDrive on office.com, right? And go to your files. And then somewhere on the bottom, just drop it down here. So what I'll do is I'll just take this and just drop it down there. Okay. And it should be there now, or at least on the top. You probably have to close the browser and open it up again, so I'll open it up again. Okay, whoops. Yeah, it resizes that. Okay, so I'm at office.com and I logged in with my student account, or my professor account, which is the same thing, my CCNH one basically. Okay. And then this file is down here. So I think you just click on it, opens up in the browser. You can also just right click and just open up in the browser also. Well, I think it's double click with a Mac. I could be wrong though. Okay, so you have the ungrouped data down here and we have the grouped data down there. So we're going to click on the ungrouped. And we'll zoom in a little bit right here. We'll zoom down there. Okay. So again, the goal is we want to make an ungrouped frequency distribution of this data, which is in this tab here. So I'm going to click on the A up there and go to data, and I'm going to sort it descending or ascending. Probably ascending is probably going to work better. So we want X number of hours is our first column. That's the thing we're counting, and then frequency. Then we want relative. And the trick is hold the Alt key, then hit enter, and then type in frequency. Okay, because otherwise, let me make that a little bit bigger. If I type in cumulative and I hit enter, it just goes to the next box. I don't want that. What you want to do is hold the Alt key, hit enter, and type in frequency. And size that out again. And then we want the last one. We want cumulative relative frequency. Okay. Make those there. Okay, we'll shrink that back down. Alright, so highlight those. We'll go to home. We'll hit, we'll box them in. We'll hit yellow. We'll hit bold. And we will center them out. There we go. So that looks pretty nice. That's the things that we want. Let's make sure we didn't miss anything here. So we want the ungrouped frequency distribution, which we have, relative frequency, and cumulative relative frequency. Okay, good. We got those things. And we want to make the tables afterwards, the distribution tables. Okay, so the numbers of hours we have are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. And how do I know that? Well, the data starts at 2 and ends at 20, right? That's how I know. And these are ungrouped, meaning there's only one per. So there's no groups. Each group is just one thing. It's ungrouped, right? So how many 2s are there? There's 2 2s. Okay. How many 3s are there? There is 1 3. How many 4? There's 1 4. There's 3 5s. There's 2 7s. There's 3 10s. Nope, I'm sorry. 3. Well, I got that wrong. There was no 6s, right? So that's a mistake a lot of students make. If there isn't one, they just leave it off the table. Don't do that, because when we want to make graphs with these later on, if you leave off data points, or values, it'll leave gaps in the graph. You don't want that. So 8, there wasn't any. There was no 9s. There's 3 10s. There's no 11s. I see 2 12s there. 13, what do we see? I see a 13. I don't see any 14s. I see a 15. There's no 16s, no 17s. There's 2 18s. There's no 19s, and there's a 20. Okay, so the way we want to know if this is correct or not, so we're just going to write total here, equals, and I'll shove that to the right, is do equal the sum, and then highlight all these, and I'll add them all up. That's a lot quicker way of doing it. Uh-oh, what did I do here? Why is that giving me... Oh, you know why? Because it went to D21. It should be D20. Right, because D21 is involving itself. Okay, so 22. I don't think we got that right. So if I highlight all of that, I have 19 values, and this says 22, which means I made a mistake. Let's see what we got. We have 2 2s. We only have 1 3, right? So there's only 1 3, and there's 1 4. So we're at 20, but I believe there's only 19 values. We still messed up here. There's only 2 7s. There's only 2 7s there. Okay, so that's 19, so that's my self-check. I should always do that. I get it wrong on purpose because I want to dictate the point that some students won't bother to do that, and they get it wrong, and and everything else is going to be wrong if you don't have that correct. Okay, so frequency just means how frequent something happened, and again, all of these things are dictated back here, right? We just picked one we wanted ungrouped, right? And the next thing we want is cumulative, relative, and cumulative relative. And again, the formulas are here, by the way, as far as those go. Oh, where did I put it? Right there. Right there, okay. So relative frequency is 2 divided by this number here, because relative means probability. So that's the 2 that happened here out of the grand total is about 10.5% basically. And if I see how I go a little corner right there, it's a square, right? See how it goes from an opaque plus to a filled in plus. If I click and drag that, it's going to try to fill it in, but it's going to be wrong. Because if you notice, if I click this, it moved this box down too, which is not good. So I'm going to delete those, right? Hit the delete button, right? Not backspace. I'm going to put a $sign here and a $sign here. So now this will not change, right? No change, just dollars. Get it? Right? So now if I drag this, okay, so if I click on this one, it takes this one divided by this one. If I take this one, it takes this one divided by this one. So now it's the correct one. So these are all the probabilities, right? Relative, it's relative to a total. So, okay, so the sum of all of those, so again, click that little box, all the way down to 20, and we get 1, which is 100%. So there were 19 values, which comes to 100%. Okay, so we can take this also and box this. Okay, so cumulative is a running total. So in the beginning, you do not have a total, right? Or running total, rather. Sorry, because this is the running total of this, and this is the running total of that, right? It's the cumulative of the frequency. This is the cumulative of the relative frequency. It's the running total. So in the beginning, I have 2. Then I have the 1 plus the previous amount. So it's what I have now plus the previous amount. And I'll drag the second one down because the second one is when cumulative actually starts. And you can see it adds up to 19 in the end, so running total. So cumulative relative, I have 10.5% in the beginning. The second time I have about 5.2% plus the previous amount. So now I have a running total, right? Because 10 plus 5 gives you about 15%. Drag that down, the second one, and I have a running total of a percent, basically. So if you click any one of these, it's what I have now plus what I had before, right? Click any one of these, that's what I have now. What I have now plus what I had before. Add them up, get that right there. Okay, so each of those is the calculations of frequency, whether it's regular, relative, cumulative, or cumulative relative, right? But we also want to make the distributions, which are the actual tables. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to copy... I'm going to copy these, just to copy that there. And we'll paste it over here. I'm going to click on the 1. I'm going to right-click and add a row above. I'm going to merge these, a little merge button there. And I'm going to put frequency. I'm going to hold the Alt key and put distribution. Okay. I'm going to make that bigger so we can see it. There we go. Maybe a little bit smaller. There we go. Okay, so we'll bold that and fill it in with blue. Because I'm trying to dictate a point here that, actually I like the light blue better maybe. There we go. Okay, so people confuse frequency and frequency distribution. So this is a frequency 1. This is a frequency 3. This whole table, or when it's graphed, is called a distribution, which is how the data is distributed for this sample or population, basically. Okay, let's take this again. So I'm going to take this again. Okay, copy that. I'm going to move over. And I'm going to paste it here. And then this time I'm going to grab the relative frequency. Copy. And paste that there. Did that copy over correctly? It did. Good. Okay. So I'll box these together. Let's see, merge them. So this is the relative frequency distribution. Okay, so we'll do bold and blue, and we'll box that out basically. Okay, yeah, we'll make that a little bit bigger so it fits in there. Okay, so this is the relative frequency of 3. This is the relative frequency of 6. This whole table is the distribution of how it breaks down, basically, what it looks like. Okay, so then I'm going to do a couple more. So I'm going to take, the hour. I'll have to modify. I'm going to take the hours. Okay. And I'm going to take the cumulative. Copy. And I'll paste that there. It didn't copy correctly, but that's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit equals. So I'm going to go over to the cumulative and click it. Hit enter. And now I'm going to drag that down. So now what it's doing is it's copying what's in that column, basically. Okay. All right, so I'm going to merge these ones. So this will be the cumulative frequency, hold the Alt key, distribution, right? Because if you want to go on a second line, you have to hold the Alt key before you hit enter. Or while you're hitting enter, rather. That'd be the proper way to say it. Okay, so this is not correct, though, because this is 0 to 2, right? This is 0 to 3, right? So sometimes they put below 3 or less than 3. Sometimes, they'll put words in there, too. So whether you put words in there or numbers is fine. I like to put the numbers myself. I'm going to copy it. So I think the book says up to, no, what does the book say? I think the book says less than. I think that's what the book uses, or below. So it'll say like below, or 4 or below or something like that, or 4 or less, some variation of that. I don't like to use the full sentences myself. I like to do this with the numbers. Sometimes they put a dash in there, but I don't like that because that's a little off-putting because it confuses it with classes. Okay. All right, so next thing I want to do is I'm going to cheat here. I don't know why are those not centered? That's weird. Let's center those up. Okay, I'm going to copy this again. Go to here, and then I'm going to go over to here and copy cumulative relative. Paste that there. I'm going to merge those together. So this is cumulative relative frequency distribution. Okay, and we'll hit the little bold, blue, and box. Okay, that didn't copy right, so I'm going to hit equals. I'm going to go over and click the value that I want, which is this one right here. Okay. And then drag that down so it copies correctly. Okay, so this table has all the different calculations basically. So each one of these is an individual frequency calculation. So frequency, relative frequency, which is probability, cumulative frequency, which is the running total, and cumulative relative frequency, which is the running total of the probability. So these tables are the distributions of how it looks like. When you graph them, they're also called a distribution. You know, it's just like what it visually looks like basically. All right, so that's the end of part 2, which is